It is a rainy day and we are on the way up to Delphi, Indiana, which is about an hour north of Indianapolis, and we are going to do live wedding painting. So this is the last one, of course, of the year because it's the last day of the year. It's going to be at a church, so there's going to be pretty stained glass, and I'm really excited to paint this one. The bride wants them to be at the altar, so I'm going to take you along with me today, and we're going to do a painting. What's the one thing that you are most excited for today?
Today,
Yeah.
I am most excited about hanging out with my wife on New Year's Eve.
We arrived to the venue around 1 o'clock, and that is about 4.5 hours before the ceremony. I wanted to give myself a little bit of extra time for this one because the venue had a lot more intricate details like the stained glass, and I wanted to give myself plenty of time to get that all done before the ceremony started. We are here at the venue. I have my canvas all set up, I've got my paint, and the venue is gorgeous. It has a beautiful stained glass that I'm going to be painting, so I'm just trying to figure out, the angle I want. So once I lay out a design, I'm going to do an outline on my canvas and get started. As you can see, I started with a nice peachy undertone for the entire canvas, and the reason I do this is because it really sets the mood for the painting, and the end result of the painting will have those peachy elements within the whole painting and really just tie the colors together. I also like to take a brownish color that will help me outline what I'm about to paint. So like you're seeing, I did the arch in that really light brown color to just mark out where I'm about to paint. If you're a live wedding painter, I want you to know that it is okay to pause and take a breath while you're trying to figure things out, because I was having almost a panic attack trying to get the coloring of the shadow under the arch correct, and my husband was like, "Why are you stressing out so much?" And I was telling him it's because it feels like I am taking a math test and I get to a problem and I forgot what the formula is and don't know how to figure it out and just feel so helpless. That's kind of what it feels like when I get to a part of the painting that I don't know how to overcome, but eventually it all works out in the end. When I first started the painting, I had a really hard time deciding whether I wanted to include the larger arch that you're seeing here or just keep the smaller one, because I was afraid that if I included the larger arch that the bride and groom would look too small in the painting when it comes to perspective. But ultimately, I decided that it defines what the church's architecture looks like, and that's really what I want for my live wedding paintings, is to make the bride and groom feel like they're there whenever they look at it. I am working on painting the background, so I finished most of the arch. I'm doing a little bit more touching up to them, and then once I'm done, I'm going to do the stained glass, which I'm really excited for. I think that's going to be kind of like the main event in this painting, besides the bride and groom. And then I still have the floor to go, but we still have 2.5 hours until the ceremony, so plenty of time. A little stressed for a moment when I first started. It was, a little hard getting the angle right and the lighting, and I actually still need to fix the lighting, but we're okay so far. I think that the stained glass was one of my favorite parts to do for this live wedding painting. It just had so many intricate details, and I thought that it turned out really beautifully, and I'm really happy with it. Now for getting my reference photo of the bride and groom. Ideally, I get this before the ceremony, which was the case for this wedding, but sometimes if they don't have a first look, I'll have to wait till after the ceremony to grab it, which is totally fine since I usually don't start painting the bride and groom until the reception time. But here's what the painting looks like so far. Okay, the wedding is about to start, and I have most of the background done. I still need to do the green arch and a bit of the floor, but we're almost done with the background, and then once the ceremony is over, I'm going to paint the bride and groom in the lower left corner. I'm about to paint this beautiful greenery arch that the bride and groom got married in front of, and my goal is to finish up these little details like the candles and the florals right before the ceremony is over. Adding these finer details really pulls the painting together, and I can't wait for you to see the final result. One of my favorite parts of being a live wedding painter is just to be a part of the wedding and see the ceremony happen and the bride and groom become one. It's just so special to be a part of all of these events. During the ceremony is also when I usually take a little break and just enjoy the event and eat a snack, drink some water. So the wedding is over. I have most of the background done. I keep noticing little details that I forgot, like candles, so I'm adding that in. And then I have a photo of the bride and groom that I'm going to paint, and I'll put them right about here, and then we'll be all done.
At first, I was not gonna put this arch in, but I'm really glad I did. I think it added a lot of dimension to it. I think it would look flat if I didn't, because the shadow really just it makes it look 3D. So I really like that part. It looks good now, but at first I think it was giving me trouble. I couldn't get the coloring right, because shadows have a lot of cool tones in there, but for some reason this one has a little bit more warmth in it, and I was putting more cool at first, so I added that warmth back in.
Now we are at the reception and it is time to paint the bride and groom. But first, let's go ahead and eat some dinner. They had amazing appetizers and dinner, and I'm always so grateful for the bride and grooms whenever they provide a meal because the food is always so good. I'm using the reference photo that I took earlier of the bride and groom to paint them, and I really like posing them when they're facing each other or when they're dancing. I like to avoid painting when they are facing straight at the camera just because my art style is more impressionism and I don't really like to do very fine face detail, so I always opt for these kind of poses.
All right, dinner is over and the reception, or I guess dancing, is starting. So I have I'm doing a clear coat varnish on the painting. It is complete. I have it signed and everything, so we're gonna do a reveal with the bride and groom afterwards. So for the clear coat, I'm using a gloss varnish, and it basically just puts a layer, it makes it look glossier, brings out the colors a little more, and it protects it from all dust, light, whatever, so the painting will last for eternity.
Once the first dance was finished, I grabbed the bride and groom for the reveal.
Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Revealing the painting is always my favorite part of doing live wedding paintings.
It is on. It was perfect. It was exactly like it.
If you made it this far in the video, thank you for sticking around and hanging out with me while I did a live wedding painting.